We feel the need to post a picture of a coffee at 2 a.m. with caption like no days off.
Isn't having a strong work ethic a good thing?
Hello everyone, welcome back to All Ears Podcast. I am Jennifer, your host, and as always, I am joined by my energetic partner, our co-host Christopher.
Hello everyone, so happy to be here again. So today we're gonna talk about a topic that mostly harms everyone on the internet. That is hustle culture.
Exactly, we often see TikTok videos about rice and green at 5 a.m. People studying at 12 hours non-stop. But the big question is it healthy for us as a teenagers? To break this down, we have a special guest for today. For Nicholas, welcome!
Hello everyone, thanks for having me today. I think it is the time for us to talk about the dark side of this always busy mindset.
Okay, let's start from the basic. Nicholas, how would you define hustle culture among teenagers?
In our world, it is a pressure to be perfect on everything. You need to get a straight A's, join a multiple organization, doing a multiple hobbies, and even run a side business. And you still have to look aesthetic on your Instagram. It is a mindset that if you are not working, you are wasting your time.
That point about looking aesthetic is very interesting. So hustle culture isn't just about working hard, but also about looking good, right? I think there's a term for it. I think it's performative productive, right?
We feel the need to post a picture of a coffee at 2 a.m. with caption like no days off. But biologically, our brain have their limits. And I've been reading some articles about it, and it says when we are constantly in alert mode, our sympathetic nervous system, the one responsible for the fight or flight response, stays active. The result, we become easily irritated, lose focus, and feel empty even after completing our task.
Honestly, hearing that really hits me. I once felt super guilty just because I was not studying on Saturday night. That's supposed to be a rest time, but when I saw someone's story at the library, I panicked.
Same. I even took pictures at night just to look productive. But after that, I want to sleep because I was very exhausted. So that's what you meant by fake productivity.
That sounds exhausting, but is there real evidence that this working hard is harming us physically?
There's a term that called burnout. When teenagers push themselves too hard, their cortisol levels, the stress hormones, spike. Think of cortisol like a fire alarm in a building. If it goes off occasionally because of smoke, that's good. But if it rings 24/7, even without a fire, the people inside will be extremely stressed. This leads to chronic fatigue, anxiety, and even a weakened immune system.
Adding to that, research shows that teenagers need around 8 to 10 hours of sleep for brain development. But because of this hustle mindset, teenagers get like 5 or 6 hours of sleep. That actually reduces our ability to concentrate.
So it's a paradox. We work harder to improve, but lack of the rest actually lowers our brain performance.
Exactly. It is like trying to run a car on an empty tank. You can keep pressing the gas, but eventually the engine will break down.
Isn't having a strong work ethic a good thing? We do need to work hard to achieve our dreams, right?
Good point. There is a thin line between ambition and obsession. Ambition is healthy, it motivates you. But hustle culture becomes toxic when your self worth is based on only on your achievement. Have you ever felt like a failure just because you took a nap on a Saturday?
And that's the problem. We feel guilty for resting. Plus, when we see friends joining competitions or internships, we get hit with FOMO, fear of missing out.
Speaking of that, what do you think about content that says if you're not productive now, you will fail in the future?
That's the issue. Motivation should inspire us, not make us feel worthless. We need to realize that life isn't a competition of who sleep the least. Everyone has their own timeline for success.
Exactly. That's why we need joy of missing out. We need to be comfortable missing out on things that aren't essential. Remember, success is a marathon, not a sprint that makes you collapse halfway.
Let's imagine a scenario. Suppose we have a listener. Let's call him Andy. He is in student council, attends tutoring until late, and is striving to get into his dream university. He is starting to feel frequent headaches and cries for no reason. What practical advice would you give Andy?
First, set boundaries. Do a time audit, write down all your activities, and eliminate the ones driven by peer pressure or prestige. Second, remember that rest is productive. Your brain needs downtime to process information.
Question from Instagram. What if my parents push me to keep hustling until I have no time to relax?
My advice is to communicate. Communicate calmly with your parents. Show them data or explain that you are feeling exhausted. Tell them you want to give your best, but you need rest so you don't burn out halfway. Communication is the key.
That's true. Support from others is important, but we also need to set boundaries for ourselves.
Before we wrap up, try one of the non productive things to do this week. For me personally, I will watch a movie without touching my phone.
For me, I'm going to take a nap without setting an alarm. Just let my body wake up naturally.
Nice. That was a wake up call for all of us. So, hustle culture isn't just about a perfect CV. Your mental health is more important than it.
Absolutely. Nicholas, thank you for sharing such an eye-opening insights today.
My pleasure. Stay healthy and don't forget to breathe, everyone.
Alright, that's for today episode. Don't forget to take a rest because the world won't fall apart if you get enough sleep for today. See you on the next episode, guys. Bye bye.